Well, hi there, I'm Noah Bradley, and this is Handmade House TV. On this week's episode, I wanted to share with you the most important, the most significant tool that anyone can have when considering the construction of building their own home. So stay tuned. What is the most significant tool that an individual can have in order to help them build a home? Beyond a doubt, the clue is behind you here. It's my pickup truck. It's your pickup truck. The most important tool, the most important asset any of us can have in the construction of our home. Matter of fact, in my opinion, in just living in this life and living in the countryside, in order to try to be somewhat sufficient, we really need a pickup truck of our own. If you need an excuse, if you need someone to convince your mate of the importance of this particular asset to our lives, to our future, please use this video to explain to them the importance of getting a pickup truck. I have owned a pickup truck through most of my life. I don't know how people survive without a pickup truck. It's that important. Now, I did build the first home of my own without the aid of a pickup truck. I managed to haul everything in the back of my car, or I had a tractor that belonged to my father that with a little crude cart behind it, a little trailer that I managed to be able to get most of the stuff hauled properly. And I thought through the process of having the materials delivered. Whenever possible, I grouped them in a group that was large enough that a delivery order could be made and it would be brought to the site. But nonetheless, you really need a pickup truck. A pickup truck not only allows you to go to the lumber yard and pick up stuff and bring it here, but it opens up your life to available things. If you find vintage salvaged material, you can acquire it at that moment. You don't have to say, I'm going to come back and get it. You can pick it up then and there. Also, a pickup truck serves as a work table, a workbench. I've lost track of the number of times that I have used the back of my truck for a work table, and that brings me to my first advice for you in shopping for a truck. The trucks of today are really are insane, and perhaps I'm going to raise some issues here. But for whatever reason, pickup trucks have gotten to be ridiculously high off the ground. And the fact that you can't easily step up into the bed of a truck anymore, they're too high to easily load and unload materials, and they're too high to use for a work table. So I would consider, when you're shopping for a truck, to not buy one of these beasts that one needs a ladder to get into, to get one a little bit low. When I bought this pickup truck, it was considered to be a high off the ground truck at the time, but actually she's pretty darn low compared to most of what's out there. If you're looking for a truck, I'd almost recommend wholeheartedly Toyota trucks. It seems to be the only manufacturer that makes a quality vehicle that's low to the ground. Chevrolet does a tremendous job nowadays of promoting their wonderful tailgate that converts into a ladder or a staircase so that you can get up into the truck, or a lift so that it'll lift materials up into it. But in my opinion, this is not a positive feature to have, that you need a ladder to get into your truck. It's a good indication that your truck is too high up in the air. Also, a lot of folks are interested nowadays, men in particular, of getting trucks that are just huge and way overpowered. And if you have a specific need in mind, if you're regularly going to be hauling incredible loads or pulling something, if you have a huge boat or a huge trailer, you need something that's heavy and massive. But the mass majority of us do not need that kind of power, that kind of hauling capacity. I've been building homes for well over 30 years, and I've never once felt shorted because of my pickup truck being a little bit smaller than most. I have a 6-cylinder motor in my front of my truck here. It's a 300 cc straight six created by Ford. Many people say it was the best engine that Ford ever created. And that six-cylinder is all the power that I've ever needed. And of course, they don't make it anymore, and probably because it was such a good motor. I have over 450,000 miles on this pickup truck, and it has the same motor, and I've never had a problem with it. By the way, one of the keys that I can offer you with regards to the motor is that I had a neighbor who sold Slick 50 back at state fairs long ago, and that's the way that this engine treatment was done. There are other good engine treatments as well. I swore to myself if I ever owned a decent vehicle, if I ever bought one near new or something, that I would go to the expense of adding this engine treatment into the engine. And so this is the first vehicle that I ever bought brand new. I bought it brand new in 1988, and it cost $9,000 at the time. It took me probably 2 years to forgive myself for spending that kind of money on a new vehicle. That was just a ridiculous amount. Nowadays, that's a fairly good bargain. And I would say the same to you, and that is that if you're looking to buy a good truck, try to think about it long term. Try to think about it as not something that you have to get a cycle into buying every 4 or 5 years. If you buy yourself a good pickup truck, it should last you the rest of your life. I've been driving the same pickup truck for 31 years now as the filming of this, and it's clearly going to last me the rest of my life. When I first bought the pickup truck, everyone said how beautiful of a truck it was. There was a lot of truck envy going on. Probably the first 5 years, everyone loved it, and then it went through a long period of it's just a used truck. The compliments stopped going through that period. And then I was driving an old truck. Newer models were coming out. I was driving the old one going down the road. The worn out type, the type of you really need to upgrade your truck. You're starting to look a little trashy kind of truck. And now I've moved into a next phase of it where people are starting to compliment me again. When I pull into a gas station, amazing number of people come over to talk to me about my pickup truck, because now it's considered a vintage truck. I have antique tags on it, of all things, which means that I save a lot of annual money with regard to insurance and licensing and inspections. You're forgiven or granted a lot more leeway when you get that kind of thing. So I really encourage you to get a low truck, to get a truck that's beautiful, that you take really care of it, that whenever anything goes wrong, you take care of the repairs. You don't let it build up. If you ever get 6 things wrong with a vehicle, you think it's time to get rid of the whole vehicle and get rid of it. So as each problem pops up, take care of it, take care of it. This truck has worked for a living. This has not been a truck that has lived in a garage and pampered and driven once a week by some old guy. This thing has hauled dozens of houses in the back of it, plenty of things. You can see that I got a load in there, and maybe I'll even do a video on how to haul a long load in the back of a pickup truck. Also, I recommend that it seems like all trucks nowadays have carpet in them. Carpet, if you're actually working on a job site, you're going to get dirty and nasty real quick. If you can get some kind of plastic liner or something to protect the floorboards, it's a real good call to go with. I'm also not a big fan of crew cabs, and that seems to be a fashion that people really want their truck to not only be a truck but to be a car. And the result of that is that you end up with a back seat that very rarely is anyone ever in it, and you've shrunken the bed of the truck to the point where it's impractical or not of much use. I like a full 8-foot bed in the back of my truck that hauls just about everything. Matter of fact, I don't think I've ever been presented with something that I couldn't haul in a truck. I also like to keep a toolbox on the back of the truck. It comes in handy in many different ways. I like a good liner in a truck. It does create a little bit of a slick surface in the back, but it sure is a lot easier to clean out, and it looks a whole lot more attractive. Also, whenever you're getting a truck, make sure and get plenty of connectors, rings on there, so that you can lock down your load as well as possible. If you're thinking of going into the building trade in any capacity, there are a lot of advantages to that. Remember the Bootstrap Building Academy, that one of the ways you could save money in the construction of your own home is to get licensed to be a builder. And I am a builder of over 30 years now, and you can see my building logo of my firm on the side of it there. There's no better business card than a good pickup truck. Anyway, if you own a pickup truck, it can help you build that home. It can help you save a tremendous amount of money. It can make things available to you. It performs a great workstation. Another thing that it does is it also it's kind of like a motorized wheelbarrow, and that is that when it comes to moving things around on a job site. Frequently, whether or not it's a load of sand, or it's a load of firewood, or it's some kind of load or something that needs to move from just a small point from one point to the other, it's a big powered machine that can move materials from wherever they are to exactly where you need it. You can move something to within inches, so you can roll something up into a truck and then you can slide it off and put it into place. Many times I've laid stone by sliding a stone directly off the back of my pickup truck onto the chimney. So it's a wonderful device in many different ways. I really encourage you to get yourself a really nice pickup truck. Take care of it, love it, go through many adventures together, and you will never regret it. Anyway, that's it for this week's Handmade House TV. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you on the next episode, where we're going to get back into the construction of that log shed. Until then, you take care. We'll talk to you then. Bye now.